Chair, I think the advice from the Senator for West Pokot is depending on the success or lack thereof that we register in the current clampdown on that crime in Kajiado, we may be forced to take that advice from the Senator for West Pokot and prohibit transportation of livestock at night, and also undertake the verification of livestock transportation licenses, just to make sure that even those with those permits to transport livestock have genuine permits, and we will employ intelligence-led operations of a multi-agency nature in line with the recommendations of the Senator for West Pokot. That, of course, includes following, being able to follow through the supply chain of that criminal enterprise into the destination markets. And that ties in with the recommendation by Senator Mbugua on neighboring counties. Actually, what we've done, we've put neighboring counties on alert. The agencies in the neighboring counties are on high alert to make sure that there is coordinated response to this problem. I am satisfied that we will get this sorted out. Then, Chair, we are doing this because we don't want to be caught by surprise. And so when an issue like this comes out, we start asking ourselves where next, and where could be the next trouble. That's why yesterday when we had there people, for example, harvesting data of Kenyans the last 2-3 days, we stopped that activity and all other similar activities, so that you don't wait until there is a similar activity. So we are looking at this in terms of the current problem in Kajiado, but also the potential spiral counties. The other thing, Chair, is as pointed out by Senator for Isiolo, my former colleague, Senator Duro, but we are not out of the woods yet. There is a lot of work to be done, lots of it, and I agree with the recommendations. Part of that, and in this I'm answering also the question raised by the putting all officials of national administration and security agencies who are in command, to put them under a result-based performance. Based on, if it's a cattle rustling area where it's common, we intend to see recoveries or even reduction of cases and so forth. So we are working on a framework already, and we have put our officers on high alert. That is one of the long-term measures that we'll be taking, but there are others. I support the idea of tracking and branding of livestock. Again, we've made that movement of livestock from one area to another becomes a bit difficult. We are also discouraging the commonly used excuse of herdsmen looking for pasture everywhere. And we are saying that the security committees of every country for livestock that is coming from elsewhere, and be sure that they supervise that, so that, again, you don't have hundreds of thousands of livestock moving without any accountability of who is moving this livestock, how many they are, and when do they go back to where they come from. And then, of course, very quickly, Chair, in the interest of time, just to report to this committee that in terms of the Northern Rift area, one of the areas which was perpetuating that problem is that those who were stealing hundreds and thousands of livestock were retreating to some areas which are remote, inaccessible, and therefore the security agencies could not. We have gazetted certain areas as disturbed and dangerous, and we expelled anybody who was hiding there, because in any case, these are not places of habitual residence by any person, and we'll make sure they don't return there. And once that is achieved, it will be very easy to recover. You will note, Chair, that during the last 4 months, we have recovered 7,147 heads of cattle and assorted livestock, which is a record. You know, in the past, the rate of recovery was quite slow, and this represents around 65% of the livestock stolen. In the past, the recovery rate was in the range of 10% and so forth.